Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. We are live on Facebook and, of course, we're also on YouTube as well. Thank you very much for joining us, Alan Rough, Hugh MacDonald, Darren Jackson with me. Just hold on, guys. 1,050, 1,051, 1,052. That's it. Right, okay. That's the training over for today, Roughie. How are you keeping yourself fit? What are you doing, Roughie?
Third gin and tonic.
Yep.
Fourth gin and tonic.
Yeah. I don't know if you've grasped, Roughie. While you're training and you're drinking, use your microphone.
I can't hold both. No, I can't hold both. Yeah, okay. I'm doing great.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you've grasped
Yes.
this. Hugh MacDonald,
Yes.
How does a 65-year-old man stay fit and housebound?
They've got a little wee park outside, Peter, which I go and walk round every day. I do 12 turns round it. That's 4 miles, and that's my daily jaunt.
And Darren Jackson, no problem with you with your fitness, by the way. Well, there's no problem with his fitness because I think he's going to join us in about another couple of minutes. I'll get back to him. Anyway, more to the point, you're always going to get a technological glitch, but we'll try and get Darren back with us. More importantly, lots to talk about today, Roughie. Of course, what we don't want to do is we don't want to bore the back end off everybody with this virus. We know the football's shut down. We want to get talking about things. We want people to actually give us their thoughts, what they're doing to stay active, and of course, we'll still be talking about player of the season, young player of the season and manager of the season, because we've eliminated 2 from yesterday's category of 6. So I think, Roughie, we'll whittle it down all the way to Friday.
Yeah, we certainly will. And they're all good candidates. I think the manager one is the interesting one. Obviously, everybody speaks about what managers do with the budgets they've got to play with. Is it a manager who wins the trophies? And it's just an open debate for everybody.
Yeah, lots to talk about with regards to that. And of course, I'm looking at the situation with the coronavirus and how people are going to have to occupy themselves. One thing they're not going to do, Hugh, is the SPFL. Ian Maxwell certainly is calling on all clubs. We know your players want to train, but the last thing they can do is all train together.
Aye, no, that's just madness. It goes against every. Nobody has to be an expert in coronavirus to know that the 2 things that have been drummed into each and every one of us: 1, wash your hands, and 2, social distance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key. You understand, Darren. I think the general feeling among all of us is it's going to be a long time before anybody kicks a ball in earnest, although there seems to be, Darren, a squabble over who's going to be awarded titles and who's going to be relegated. And some actual organisations are actually talking about when they're going to start back, maybe late April and May. I don't see that happening, do you?
Well, it doesn't look as though it's going to happen just now, Peter. I just hope people take it on board that you need to stay in the house. As Hugh is saying, you need to wash your hands, you need to keep your distance from people, stay in the house, and the quicker that happens, obviously, hopefully, the quicker we can get back. I honestly want to see the league finish, Peter. I think people would want to go and win the league. If you're going to get relegated by playing the right amount of number of games. You need to give yourself a chance. But handing out titles and all that is just something. I think they can't wait too long, but as long as they can to finish the season. Then I'm thinking even next year have a 3-week, 4-week mid-season break and then start again, and then even cut down to playing each other 3 times next season, Peter. We need to. I think we need to finish this season.
Yeah, listen, I'd love to see it happen, Hugh. But realistically, I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being a realist on this. I don't see it finishing.
No, I don't either, unless as Darren says, that you take a whole tranche of games and you start next season with that tranche of games. But it's now looking. The best sort of kind of indicator of it all, Peter, I think, is Italy. it seems statistically that we're 2 weeks behind Italy and everything. So we've still, I don't want to be Mr. Doom, but we've still seem to do the worst of it and then come out the other side. We're now hurtling towards April as it is. I really think there's going to have to be really tough decisions made as to, as Darren says, do we say, right, there's so many games left, we're just going to completely and utterly restructure what would have been next season. There's little things as well that need to be sorted out. Prize money needs to be sorted out. The sponsors will have to be sorted. Sky and BT, for example, will be owed games that they won, etc., etc. So there's little stuff, not little stuff, there's a lot of stuff to be talked about and sorted before any really decision can be made.
Yeah, here's hi to Thomas McGee, Michael Mullen, who joins us, Scott Dunbar. Afternoon, guys, from Berlin, no less, Scott. Great that you're joining us on our Facebook and YouTube channel for the football show, Scott. Let's hope you're safe and well in Berlin. Alistair Gardner says, hi, guys. Brilliant. Keep up the good work. Alistair, it's great to have you on with us. Any point that you guys want to make, we're more than happy to answer them as well. Craig Lindsay, afternoon, chaps. I'm at home at the moment, Darren. Oh, great. David, thanks for sharing the stream. Incidentally, if you get a chance, guys, share it with your pals. Share the stream, follow us. We'd love to have you on board joining the football family. Great figures from everyone joining us. Michael Miller as well. Andy Wilson, watching from Australia, no less. Hi, Andy. Great to know that we've got people watching near and far who want to talk about football. Roughie, you look like the grandkids are showing you what to do there, says David Welsh. But Roughie, you've been fantastic with this technology when usually you're completely useless.
No, I'm okay when it's working 100%. It's when things start to go a wee bit ski-whiff, I'm frightened to touch a certain bits of this phone. But as long as I can see myself and I can see yous, then I'm okay.
Yeah. Listen, guys, every now and then I like to bring some stuff in that'll get you all talking. So first and foremost, I'll just get a reaction here, Hugh, from one of our panellists. It won't be you, but I just want to know, what was this? What was this strip all about? I mean, this is an absolute shocker, Roughie. Look at this top.
Yeah, I think is that the World Cup jersey, the Scotland World Cup jersey that we wore against Brazil? No, is it another?
No,
is that another?
Euro 96, Roughie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You see, Daz, you thought I'd thrown that away, didn't you? But I kept a hold of it. It's possibly one of the worst strips.
That was a poor strip. Actually, not that strip, but that away strip I wore in my second game against San Marino over there. Unfortunately, we won 2-0.
And you know what? Look at that. Look at the badge hue as well. Euro 96. And I don't know about you, Darren, but I remember going to Euro 96 with, of all people, David Moyes and Kenny Moyes were there in an old battered red Audi. And we had an absolute hoot of a time at Euro 96 with tickets that we managed to get from, I think we got a couple of tickets from the Azerbaijan FA, I kid you not, to get into a game. But Euro 96 was magic, wasn't it?
It was absolutely brilliant. It's probably a strange thing to say, Peter, but probably because it was in England, but I actually enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the World Cup, and I never played at Euro 96. Just the atmosphere and everything. The first game against Holland, and then obviously at Wembley, where I think we deserved a draw. They were good.
Did Craig get you to warm up in Euro 96? I mean, did you at least get warming up?
Were you at Wembley?
Yeah.
Half time with the songs rocking all over the world.
Oh, that was magnificent.
The subs were warming up with the fans. The England fans just stood and watched the Scotland fans through the whole half time. They were unbelievable. It was brilliant. I mean, obviously disappointed losing 2-0, and then obviously we go into the Switzerland game, great goal for Koiste, and we're thinking we're actually through, and then Kluivert scores for Holland against England to make it 4-1, I think it was.
That's right.
Which actually put us out, but it was a magnificent tournament. It was just brilliant.
Just remind me, Dan, what was the carry on at the penalty, the England penalty with McAllister?
Well, this is, was it Uri Geller? I said before the game
Uri
about
Geller.
the ball will move. And my hand on my heart, this is honest truth, I watched the ball as Gary ran up to take the penalty. And I don't know if you can get the video of it now. I'm 100% sure it moved. Now, that didn't put Gary off missing the penalty, but I'm sure it did move. But I think if we had scored that, Roughie, I mean, we could have gone on to win it, but I think we would have got a draw.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the same thing that happened with me with Zico. I don't know who moved. I think the goalpost moved.
You were meant to move. Never. But honestly, Peter, just, I mean, as you say, you were there half time. I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Listen, Andy Wilson says, Roughie, did you call me last night? I had a call from a heavy breather. Andy, we've sorted it. Hopefully we've sorted it out today, Andy. I'm sorry about that yesterday. It says, hi guys, I've just read something from someone from the SFA saying it will just have to be accepted. The league stands as it is. Celtic champions, Hearts down, just the way it is, says Stephen. Well, listen, the SFA chief executive, Ian Maxwell, has said, null and void has not been, discussed as an option at the moment, Hugh MacDonald. Quite simply, if we're talking about process here, I think what's going to happen is all the member associations will wait and say, okay, let's get advice from UEFA, and then let's make a call at a definitive time, a line in the sand where we know we're never going to get the games played before June 30th. And I think that's when they'll announce it.
I agree with you. I think we said at the time that the 30th was a holding tactic. It was to keep everybody on board on the one sort of strategy, and that strategy was delay, delay, delay. And UEFA were criticised for it, but at the time I thought it was the right decision. Give yourself as much time to make the decision as possible. And I think they will do that later. I think there will be a decision made, and I think it will be made when things become much clearer.
Yeah, absolutely. My apologies if you just heard the chinkle of gin and tonic there, and then, of course, Roughie breathing like a madman. I knew it was. What? I knew it was you yesterday. I knew it was you. Oh. Honestly.
Another thing I was reading as well, and you and Peter might take me up with it. The European, the Champions League, they're talking about it. If they leave it so long, they won't be able to play it. So next year, to make the competition more exciting, there's going to be no qualifiers. Does that mean Rangers and Celtic are out of the European Cup?
Well, no, I think there'll be an all-inclusive. I think there'll be some kind of all-inclusive knockout if they were going to bring everybody into it, Hugh.
Yes, absolutely.
I read, Hugh, that there was going to be no qualifiers. There'll be no time to play second and Roughie, first round qualifying games.
If there is no qualifiers, that doesn't mean to say that 2 and 2 makes 5 and Rangers or Celtic won't be in it. It just means there'll be no qualifiers. They can do it as a straight knockout system.
Yeah, but you can. I mean, it's all arithmetical. Instead of having a qualifying system for one space or 2 spaces, what you do is you just take everybody in. You can seed it if you want, and then you could have 500 clubs in it, right? I mean, I'm saying this for exaggeration. You could have 500 clubs, but after 3 games, you're down to 100 clubs. After 5 games, you're down to whatever. It just halves dramatically. So a month. I mean, all options are open here. Apart from straight knockout, it could be one-offs as well. It could be like an FA Cup, Scottish Cup. You just get drawn away, and that's your luck, and all in the pot as well. It would be.
Yes,
I think. Sorry, Pierre.
Sadly, I think, Hugh, though, that there's going to be an asterisk next to the Champions League for 2020. I don't think there will be a game to get it all the way through to a final now.
I don't think so either, Peter.
Yeah. Chris Gardner says there'll be no football till September at the earliest. Chris, hi to Craig McClure. Cheryl's joined us. Alan Patterson. Do you think Hearts will go down, Darren?
Well, if it stays like this and they say the league's finished, obviously, yes, they will go down. And I've always been one, Peter, I've sat in the programme and I've said, once they get the players back, I think Hearts are too good to go down. But I actually saw them at Southern, and they just didn't look as though they had any game plan. I mean, there was nothing. The midfield four, they weren't creators, they weren't spoilers. There was nothing. St Mirren at least had a game plan. And the boy, that's what he does. He's big and strong. He causes problems. Hearts are always caught with the two centre halves, the two fullbacks pushing up the pitch, and they get caught 2-1, and they've not handled it. And that's the first night, Peter, that I've watched Hearts. And don't get me wrong, they've not been great, but it's the first night I've thought to myself, I don't know if they've got enough. I hope they do have enough, but I'm not sure if they do.
Yeah, Hugh, I wonder how much, if they've got enough money, because that story today in one of the tabloids actually, got me thinking. PFA Chief Executive Fraser Wishart must be pulling his hair out. You can't ask players to take a 50% wage cut and then suddenly have someone in the background saying, what players have you got available for next season? We've got money. I mean, I'm looking at that story and I'm saying, I'm not questioning the validity of it. All I'm saying is that maybe, like every club, they put feelers out for the season ahead. But, for the information to come out at a time when players are being asked to get their money cut is poor.
Absolutely. But the thing about it as well is, that story indicates that Hearts think that life is going to go on in some form. But at the moment, I think and again, we said this right at the beginning, the coronavirus, we said there's some clubs going to find it very, very difficult to come out the other side of this. I don't think Hearts necessarily are in that category, but they'll come out undoubtedly very much different than when they went into it. This is a catastrophic event. It's an event that's going to change everything and that includes football. It's going to change the landscape of football in Scotland. I think it will change it. It'll downsize it to a level, an unprecedented level, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's one from Gordon Herriot. He says, hi, guys. Stay safe from Thailand. Yeah, Gordon, I think everybody is actually, slowly but surely, I hope everybody's starting to pay heed to the information that's coming from the government. Sometimes you can be inspired. Roughie, see, every time you move that microphone on your knee, we can all hear it, by the way. I just thought I'd tell you that. It's just
I just hope it's his microphone.
Honestly, Hugh, this is near enough 9 years with him. I can just sense what he's like. Anyway, I'll continue on the point I was about to make, which is quite simply, in fact, I don't even know what I was going to say now. I've completely lost it. We can only assume time will tell. Hopefully the games can be played at some point, says Martin McAnally. Afternoon, guys. First time watching the show, says Michael Mitchell. Great stuff. Michael, we're delighted that you're with us because everybody can put a point across. Watching from the Grand Canyon, says Gerard McLaughlin. I mean, what? I thought everybody was told to stay in, Hugh. And the point I was going to make was lots of celebrities are actually, and it's a good thing, a positive thing, saying, getting the message out. Footballers are saying, fans, stay in, listen to the government information. I think it's good. Sometimes you need somebody just that you maybe is your hero to influence you.
Yeah, I think the message is finally striking home now, though, Peter. I was kind of stunned. I went over the weekend when I was going for my solitary walk over the weekend, and it was the park was full of people, just no distancing whatsoever, all joining in, and I thought, goodness gracious, is it not? It's not hit everybody. There's a great stat about this. That this disease can't travel. It only travels with when people travel. So if everybody sits in their house, the simple message is the disease can't travel. If we all just sit in the house, it'll go away. It's that terrible disease, but it's that simple a disease. So just sit in your bahookie, listen to Roughie on his microphone, playing the maracas with his microphone.
Absolutely. Hugh, you'll never know how right you are. Donald Armstrong says, hello from Sydney, Australia. That's how far we're reaching in this one. Hearts were linked to some players yesterday, so is Anbudge lying about the finances, or is it journalists making stuff up because they're bored? Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, football clubs do put the feelers out to try and look for players for the following season. That's just par for the course. But I think at this point, when they're asking players to take a wage reduction, it's just a wee bit insensitive, to be perfectly honest with you. Roughie getting down with the kids and headphones on.
I'm saying it, Peter, it could have been worse. It could have been Craig Levine that was trying to find day players for next year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Roughie. Big striker and wee striker playing off him, Darren, or in some cases, nay striker. Stephen says, Ruffy's getting down with the kids. Love you with the headphones on. Hi, boys. Hope everyone is okay. Did everyone receive a message from the government to stay indoors, says Andy. Andy, we did. And of course, over and above that, I brought a few bits of memorabilia just because you're on, Darren. Because I mean, this is what was your overall number? This is 15. What was your overall?
That was the first year of squad numbers, Peter.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was the first year of squad numbers. And I actually was hoping to get 10, but Phil O'Donnell got it, and rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah,
do you know the great thing about this, Darren?
That was 98, 99.
Yeah, it was. The great thing about this top, when you handed it over to me, I think I still knocked you back out of PJ Clarkson Edinburgh because you were just inebriated. You know, Hugh, sometimes you just got to say
look at the size of it. I think it's an XXL. That's what we used to get now. Nowadays, they get them all their strips, Adidas and Nike, made to measure. That's a good point, actually. I was 10 stone and I was running about an XXL strip.
Yeah, absolutely, which is why I'm able to wear it to the five-a-sides, to be perfectly honest with you. Roughie, what about you? You know the great thing about Roughie, Hugh, I don't know if you know this, but Roughie, you actually, more often than not, had one favourite top that you wore quite regularly. It was an old Admiral one. Was it Ray Clemens's?
Yeah, it was Ray Clemens's, the jersey that Kenny Dalglish put through Ray Clemens's legs. Actually, there was no stipulations on contracts of shirts away back then, and I on more than one occasion, if I played against New Zealand or Holland or whoever, I used to wear that jersey in a club match, and nobody ever said anything about it. And I used to do it at Hibs as well.
Roughie, but yeah, John Burridge used to do that. Budgie used to like his own top.
Yeah, I'm just, as you can see, moving about this studio, picking up as many little pointers as I can. Interestingly enough, Hugh MacDonald at Livingston have offered a share issue out for fans, £20 a month. Again, you can see so many clubs trying to come up with initiatives to try and stave off the financial problems that they're having with the coronavirus.
Well, the whole thing's cash flow, Peter. You know, that's as simple as that. All these clubs have been robbed of their cash flow, and they've got outgoings, but they've got absolutely no incomings, none at all. That's why they're pushing for, early payments of the prize money. They're looking for the SFA. I mean, the SFA fund, God bless it, 1.5 million. Wasn't going to go far between 42. So every club has got to look at ways of saying, can you back us? And season tickets as well. Very difficult to sell season tickets because you don't know what you're selling. Hugely difficult times.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Wilson has a big point here, Roughie, and I think it's only right and proper. Andy has said, right, Roughie, get Scary Spice's knickers out. Now, I don't know if you were privy to this yesterday, Darren. Darren's got that look of amazement on his face, but while we're talking about football and we're talking about framed shirts, Roughie said, if you come to my house, I've actually got a pair of Scary Spice's knickers framed as well. And just in case you don't believe me, there they are in all their splendour. Framed Scary Spice knickers. Roughie, tell us the story. How on earth did you manage to get them?
Yeah, well, on a previous radio station, we had a guest on the show who was Michelle Moan. and Michelle Moan was telling us that Scary Spice was her new model for the year to model her stuff. So I throw a sort of a task out to her. I said I wouldn't mind a pair of them signed, and lo and behold, as you do, lo and behold, I was presented with them a week later by Scary Spice.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it must be. That's a great story, Roughie. It must be really emotional for you, Hugh, because you've got Gracie Fields' panty girdle from 1948. That's magnificent. Roughie, absolutely brilliant. Jeanette says, where is wee flip-flop today? I mean, we've renamed Barry Flip-Flop because he threw one flip-flop at the telly, Hugh. That's what happens. You get tagged with it.
That's right. One sheep, as the joke goes, eh?
Absolutely. Listen, lots of them coming in. Thanks to Freddie Young as well. Marie's joined us. Eamon Barry says, nothing wrong with Roughie's lungs anyway. No, he's coughing them up with that microphone on a regular basis. I was in Cyprus in 1989. Mo Johnson scored and Richard Gough scored 6 minutes of injury in a 6 minutes into injury time goal. I remember that, Hugh. Do you remember that?
Absolutely remember it as well. Our lights were dimming then. A lot of late Scottish goals over the year when we were really, when we were qualifying for things and fighting for things. I always remember it was a late goal by Stephen McManus against Liechtenstein was it Liechtenstein at Hampden, Peter? It was well into extra time.
7 minutes.
7 minutes in.
7 minutes in.
The greatest Scottish goal in terms of significance that I ever saw was in 1973, and that was a fairly late goal from Joe Jordan as well.
Yeah, that was magnificent. What a night that was, by the way. And you know what's great about that goal that you've just mentioned there, Hugh, is Arthur Montford's commentary on it. You know how sometimes they mention to you that the great commentators don't really over-elaborate. They just catch the emotion of it. And it was fantastic. Morgan, Jordan, goal. He's just told you exactly what happened. You knew exactly what was going down. Fantastic.
I think he did. Did they not do? Did they not?
Yes, mine's with Faddy was, oh my God, I cannot believe he's done that. Roughie, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say it was the same commentary at Anfield when we beat Wales. Buck and Dalglish goal, Argentina, here we come. I think it was the same shout.
It was along the same lines. I think that was Archie McPherson, the great Archie McPherson.
Oh, was it? Oh, they must copy each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Macari bucking on the overlap and then Kenny with a fantastic header. Listen, Darren, I want your thoughts on this one. I don't think Florian Camberry's too keen to go back to Edinburgh. He's quoted in another interview in Europe with someone saying, he just definitely wants to stay at Rangers beyond this loan period because he loves the fact that they can play in front of 50,000 fans. It's going to be so difficult for him to even contemplate negotiating his way out of his deal at Hibs.
Without doubt, Peter. I think he's been stupid right from the start. You go, you're going on loan. There's a chance you're going to go back. Great club, Hibs. Great support. Don't give them stick. Go and do what you can to try and. If you want to stay at Rangers, go and try and do what you can. I don't think he's done enough up until now. And if we have a problem that we're going to not get the games, get to play the games, it's going to be a hard one for Rangers to go and sign him on what he's done already. So he's going to have to go back and probably with his tail between his legs, and there's going to have to be a few sorries.
Yeah, absolutely. John Murphy says, hi from New Jersey, USA. John, brilliant. Thank you very much. New Jersey, a fantastic place. The only thing I'm going to say to you, Hugh, is I automatically think of a pop star when I hear New Jersey, one of my favourite rock and roll stars. Who am I talking about?
Greetings from Ashbury Park, Mr. Springsteen.
Yes, absolutely. Have you ever seen him live?
Yes, I think I saw him live. I think I had to take a piece with me, Peter. It was only so he went on for about 3 days. And by the way, that's not a criticism. He's just wonderful. If people are looking for something to watch at the moment, and they are on subscription TV. There's a great Springsteen on
And just
Broadway.
at that moment, I think it was the classic case there of something happening that Hugh cut out. Absolutely incredible.
Am I back now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, just at that moment, Hugh, when you were telling us about Asbury Park, I was just hanging on your every word.
I was just so excited. I actually expired for 30 seconds, Peter. At my age, I get too excited. So, the great Springsteen. He's on. There's a programme on of him on Broadway. Highly recommended.
Yeah, absolutely superb, brilliant. 3.5 hours at Hampden Park. You're right. You needed a sandwich. I think actually they told him eventually to stop. He was that good. Linda Weaver, hi. Darren says Linda Weaver, obviously somebody that knows you, Darren. I love the fact that we've got a personal aspect to this.
Sorry, I missed that, Peter. I got cut off there.
Linda Weaver says hi.
Hi, Linda.
Yeah,
You're having a good day and you're sitting in the house.
Yeah, a lot of people asking what size are Scary Spice's knickers. These seem to be the early ones. Stephen says, Peter, are you hiding in your man cave? My missus goes in a mood when I talk football constantly out loud. Listen, we love our football. There's a few technical glitches every now and then, but stick with us on it. There's people calling in New Jersey, Australia as well, loving their football. Yesterday, we asked you what would be your nominees for Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Manager of the Year. We had 6 yesterday. So for Player of the Year today, we've now cut it down to 4. Four of them. Did we do the right thing there, Hugh MacDonald, in your mind? We've got it down to 4 players who we think would be in the running if indeed there was a Player of the Year by the end of the season.
Yeah, I think so. I think although in this truncated season, there's a case for saying at least 3 of them that it was half a season that they've played to get in the reckoning. I think the only one who has really strongly sustained after the break has been Edward.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any argument on that one. Hi, lads, from Lochrie over in Ireland, says Alan Boyd. I'm helping to get their energy back up and running. Great show as always. Well done, Alan. There's lots of people putting themselves at the forefront to help people who can't help themselves. It's as simple as that. Gary Adams says, Darren is frozen. He was like that sometimes when he was playing for clubs as well, to be honest with you. Roughie, Gary Havlin has said, what else have you got signed? Is there anything that you've got signed, Roughie, that you think, oh, I'm so glad I got it signed?
Easy.
No, are you talking about jerseys?
Yes. No, just jerseys.
All right.
The knickers one caught us on the hop. It was so unique.
Yeah, you're trying to make it out as if I've got a collection, but that's not the case. No, jerseys. I'll send you a photo of the Kubi's jersey. You said you wanted to see that.
Yeah, I think everybody would love to see that, Roughie.
Yeah, I'll take a photo of that. Yeah,
that would be great, Hugh. To feel Kubias, who scored 2 past Roughie as well.
To be fair to Roughie, though, he was told that he was told very strongly by scouts that Peru wouldn't score from free kicks, and Kubias was done. So, not the best scouting report ever.
Yeah. Stephen Linus says, McGregor all day long. Are we being unkind? Have we forgotten about Callum McGregor? Is that unfair, Darren Jackson?
Possibly take him for a little bit for granted. I mean, Callum's, to me, every time you see him, he's probably a 7 or 8 out of 10, Peter. But see, I think the play of the year's all about timing. When you're at the start of the season, I would have said Christie or Morelos. Just Christie ahead, possibly, but Morelos was having a great time. But Edward, it comes to the end, and whether there's going to be a vote or not, it comes to the end, and Edward's just shone like a beacon. He's just produced at the right time, and obviously, if your team's winning and you're ahead in the league, it obviously helps as well. And Cosgrove's had a good season again, but he went off the boil too. So I think the play of the year is about timing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Edouard is getting all the comments on here. Of course, William Wright says, Vancouver Island is in lockdown. Great show, keeping me sane here. I have to say, French Eddie, without a doubt, says Michael Mullen. There's lots of people. Only one winner, says Aileen. Aileen says it's Edouard. If you get a chance, guys, share our stream to your friends. Let them know about it. It's on YouTube, 4 o'clock every day. We're doing it at 4 o'clock. Is there a perfect time? Lots of people will be having earlier dinners because they're in the house. The last thing you want to do is binge. You'll need to do some exercise. I'll tell you one thing, Hugh. There's lots of great people out there on the internet getting the kids exercising in the morning. I'm sure they're getting older people exercising too, just making sure that everybody's staying fit.
Yeah, and there's a good thing about exercise for me. Always keeps the mind kind of straight as well. I'm a great man for that, keeping the mind straight. And that's going to be in all seriousness, that's going to be an issue for people. Not only keep yourself physically fit, but keep yourself mentally fit as well. And especially, I'd pass that on very strongly to my colleague Alan Roughie there, who I don't know. I think the stream's going to end pretty quickly, or we're going to have one of the most disastrous endings to a programme everywhere. As the paramedic burst through the door as we were talking about legal reconstruction.
Yeah, absolutely. Hugh, you've read my mind. Every time Darren laughs, it's as if it's telepathy. I know exactly what he's thinking. The other thing I was going to say to you guys, Morelos all the way, 29 before the winter. Eddie's had 3 good months, says Craig Lindsay. And of course, Liam McPake says, Roughie, any chance of a signed photo of you in the Perham heyday? How long did you have the Perham for, Roughie? Was it a full year?
It wasn't. There was nothing you could do about it. Once you had it for 2 years, because obviously you couldn't get it cut out, so you had to let it grow out, which took a lot of our women who watch the show will know how hard that is to grow out a perm. And no, I had it for a long, long time.
You're nearly there, though, Roughie. There.
Nearly.
Absolutely brilliant. Listen, we talked about Player of the Year. What about the nominees for Young Player of the Year? Now down to 4. Four young players there. Darren, one of them actually, I think he was a youth player at Celtic, Aaron Hickey, before he eventually moved away. And, there's I was reading, all speculation, of course, because you know what it's like when you've got nothing to write about. I think most of us go into a darkened room and throw a dart on 15 pictures of footballers and then come up with a link. But Aaron Hickey certainly will be attracting attention in the summer.
Without doubt. I said to you, I was at the St Mirren game, Peter, and Hearts were a disappointment. The boy was probably the only one that stood out. He looks, to me, as he's got the temperament to go and play at any level, even just now. I think if a big club bought him, I think they would probably loan him back to Hearts or put him somewhere else. But I think the boy's got a huge talent, and as I say, his temperament that night, he was never beat. He was trying to drive them on for a 17-year-old. But going back to the nominees, I'm surprised Jamie Hamilton's not in there. But for me, it's only one winner in Lewis Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lewis Ferguson for me. Roughie, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think on the whole, over the season, I think he's been very consistent. I did like it for a wee while when Frimpong came in. I thought he was a breath of fresh air. And obviously he was taken out of the equation there just laterally. He's been the kind of fullback we all want to see. The wee boy Smith at Hamilton has done nothing wrong at all, but I'm a wee bit like Darren. I think Lewis Ferguson could be the next big money sale from Aberdeen.
Yeah, and the other thing here, Gary Adams says Celtic would be wise to sign Lewis Ferguson. I know Barry wouldn't be too happy about it, Hugh, but I think Scottish clubs should be looking at him and thinking, Celtic are going to have to find a replacement for Scott Brown. I think he's the perfect person.
Yeah, well, I think what Lewis Ferguson's got that the other young players haven't is other young players have been, making sort of, except Hickey, I suppose, is a regular, but making kind of fleeting appearances. But Ferguson's central to what everything Aberdeen want to do and how to win the ball back and how to get it quickly forward to the likes of Cosgrove and sometimes Main. And he's been a really strong player for Aberdeen in a season which hasn't been a smooth season for Aberdeen. I think Ferguson has shown his mettle. I think he's a little bit more mature than the others because he's played more games. I think he's had more time in the line of fire, as it was. And yeah, I think he's somebody that that teams will look at in the summer.
Yeah. The other thing here is Andy Wilson says surely Lewis Ferguson will go to Rangers. Good.
Peter, I worked with Lewis at the Scotland under 19s, and he's the most streetwise 19-year-old kid I've ever known on the pitch. He's so far ahead of the other kids. But he's good. He's not fantastic on the ball. He's good on the ball. But for a boy who's not lightning quick, his timing and his runs are incredible, and his attitude to the game's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, there's one other little category. We had 6 managers yesterday. Let's have a look at how we've managed to whittle it down to 4 for Manager of the Year. Now, this is a tough one, guys. I think I'm going to take it in the neck here, Roughie, but, we just kind of put it out there. Lots of people have been having their say on it. I think Robbie Nielsen would feel more than a little miffed that he's not in that 4 there. I am opening myself and everybody else up to criticism on that one.
Yeah, I would. The Robbie Nielsen, I would hazard a guess that Robbie Nielsen has probably got a bigger budget than Holt and Robertson at Motherwell, or equal to them. So, I can see why they're there. I think they've really pushed the boat out with their budget. As we can see, I think they're about 3.7 million in debt. But I don't blame them if they really want to get back to the Premiership and they think that's what they had to do, and they succeed in doing it. Then fair enough. The other 2 come into the budget scenario. Do you give somebody the Manager of the Year because of the budget that they're playing under against the budgets of other 2, the big 2? For me, it's all about winning trophies. For me, it's all about what you achieve at the end of the day. And for me, it's been a winner and been in winning these trophies.
Yeah, is that Neil Lennon for you?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeanette McGinn says, no doubt, 100% Lennon. Gerrard shouldn't be in the frame, says Stephen Hill. Come on, guys. He won 2 games more than Celtic in Europe. And that's it. Kneel all day long. Only one winner, says Graham Doherty. If the league was still going, Gerrard might not be in a job just now, says George Millen. And, of course, surprised you took Robbie Nielsen out, says Gary. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where... Hugh, should we have kept him in, and maybe who would we have dropped out there? A Gary Holt or a Stephen Gerrard?
I think Roughie summed it up perfectly. I mean, there's 2 ways of judging a manager. You judge him on silverware, that's certainly. But the other way you judge them is on punching, above your weight in terms of budget, because budget's completely and utterly crucial now. So. I'm just going to leave the room because I think Sasquatch has just come into the room and it's just like no, you judge it in either way. I would judge it. I tend to try and judge it on. I think if Neil Lennon, he's still in the Scottish Cup. He won the League Cup, 13 points clear in the league. I think it would be pretty hard to deny him it, Peter.
Yeah, I think you're right. Lots of people saying Lennon all day long. To be fair, Motherwell Boss has had a great season, but it's Lennon for me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that can actually vote on this as well, because if you go on PLZ Soccer's Twitter, we've got the nominees out there. It's all speculation because, quite simply, there won't be a player of the year. I was on a good run. Hugh, I think I had 12 in a row that I'd hosted. I thought I was going to get 13, but it's been unlucky.
You were due a testimonial, Peter. I think you were due a player of the year. I think you were going to win it this year if they were having it.
Well, to be honest with you, Hugh, I didn't know I'd actually started a fad. In the last player of the year, Roughie, I translated for Alfredo Morelos, and it seemed to catch on later on in the season.
Your translation is just about as accurate as well, Peter.
You'll never know how. Although I have to say, full marks to Alfredo Morelos, because I'd learnt a little bit of Spanish in the morning, as if to say, what does winning this award mean to you? And he had a little glint in his eye as he thought, I'm just going to answer him back full Spanish, fires it back at me, and I looked at him and he had a wee smile, a wee wink of the eye, and then obviously I translated with a message to those who were doubting Alfredo at the time. But never. David Nielsen says, I thought I was watching Crime Watch there when he saw the 4 photographs coming up. I think he was just waiting for a wee number at the bottom. Darren was a member of the Bader Meinhof gang. Manager of the year so far for me is the lad from Motherwell, Stephen Robinson. Yes, Stephen Robinson, I think, had a great season as well. Love the show, guys. Gerrard's having a mare and McInnes's team are having a stinker also, says David Rennie. It's all about opinions, to be honest with you. Listen, get onto our Twitter, our Facebook as well. The nominees are there. Give us your thoughts on it. This is the perfect time if you're sitting bored out of your skull in the house every day at 4 o'clock. Tell your friends, share the stream on YouTube and on Facebook. We are here to chat football with you, show you a wee bit of memorabilia here and there. Darren, you've got to get into the loft or into a bin bag and get those strips out so we can see some of the teams you've played for. Have you got some still?
Yes, I've got a few, but I actually don't know where they are. I think they're in the garage, which is wrong, 100% wrong. I know that.
Yeah,
I did get my for my son's room. I'd got my Brazil cap, my 25 cap medal, silver medal, and my league championship medal, all framed for him.
Lovely.
That's nice.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic.
I've got one of their medals, but it's gold.
Yeah, that's great, Roughie. Why don't you just go over to Darren's house and scalp him over the head with a microphone, Roughie? Just make him feel inadequate after winning 25 caps for his country. I've got one of those medals. It's one of those shell replica ones you used to get at the station. Hugh.
I can go back to the 1970 ones, Peter. That's how old I am.
Hugh, can I tell you something? If you had the 1970 shell collection medals all in the book, it would be worth fortunes for you.
Absolutely. But no, I don't have any memorabilia. I just am memorabilia.
Yeah. Stephen says any Jambos tops, Darren. Of course, you've Dundee United. I think you must have a Dundee United top as well
I
as
can
that.
tell your story about the Hearts one, Peter. Obviously, me playing at Hibs, my dad was the biggest Jambo you could meet. And he actually lived down Easter Road, and all his pals are Hibs fans. And so, obviously, playing for Hibs, he never ever thought he would see the day that I would play for Hearts. And so, obviously, I got there, and come Arnold first game, and asked the kit man, is it okay to keep the jersey? And I got it framed, and I got it engraved at the bottom. See, dreams do come true.
Oh, honestly, do you know what? I think we're all going to have to get in and watch The Notebook or something like that. The movie now, Hugh. This guy is absolute Mills and Boone, isn't he?
I know.
No, he never thought he would see it, Peter, but he was delighted to see that.
Brilliant. Listen, just before we finish, I've got to tell you guys, it's sadly another one of those on this day, but I think it's a celebration of his life. Hugh MacDonald, 4 years ago, we sadly lost, for me, one of the greatest players that I've had the good fortune to watch playing was one Johan Cruyff. Now, I was just, now believe me, I haven't written everything down, Hugh, but of the medals, 3 Ballon d'Or, 3 European Cups with Ajax, 8 leagues with Ajax. He won the La Liga with Barcelona, 1 Feyenoord title at the tail end of his career in Holland again. And with manager with Barcelona, he won the Champions League, the Cup Winners' Cup, La Liga as well. And with Ajax, he won the league and the Cup Winners' Cup as well. He was a genius on the field. But of course, as a tactician and a man who loved football played the right way, he's right up there, isn't he?
He would be certainly a contender for the man who's had the most significant in football. Certainly in my lifetime, not just as a player and in the total football under Ajax and with the Netherlands, but also as a manager, the way he changed that, the Barcelona dream team, and the way such as people like Guardiola and others, are his disciples. So although the Johan's gone, his principles of football keep continuing. A wonderful, wonderful player, Peter. I saw him in his pomp, and I also saw him later on when he came to Celtic Park as an older player in a match at Celtic Park, a drawn match at Celtic Park, where he was absolutely outstanding as well as a veteran. One of the greats.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the game you're talking about, he actually had a one-touch pass to, I think it might have been the left winger. I'm not sure if it was Blomqvist in his early time, but an Ajax player scored, and he was just a genius. And this was the tail end of his career. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Christopher Holmes says, Roughie, don't forget the Kubias shirt, because he'll let his boy Coco know that you'll be showing it tomorrow, because Christopher, I think I'm right in thinking, actually does know Kubias' son. He's been on before and mentioned it, so it's well worthy of it, I have to tell you, Roughie, if you can remember.
Yep, I'll make sure that I'll pull it off the wall, and I'll get a photograph of it for tomorrow. No problem at all.
Magic. I love a bit of memorabilia. Well, listen, we started off with just a wee bit of exercise, and we brought out one of Darren's worst shirts of all time. Although, Hugh, I don't know why I bothered. He never framed it. He never had a little plaque at the bottom saying, Peter, here's one of my worst shirts ever. And when you think of his last 2 stories, surely he should have made an effort for me.
No engraving at all. Just rolled up in a ball, hit you in the bon suit and says, take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hardly had to strip off my back, and he had it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't want him to give it away to someone else. Anyway, listen, it's been a joy for everyone who's come on. Thanks to Gary Joe, David Nielsen. The other great thing about it is, and I think it's brilliant that David Nielsen's mentioned that Cruyff could nutmeg a mermaid, says David Nielsen. I'll tell you one thing, he could nutmeg so many people, and that to have a name of a bit of skill after you, the Cruyff turn, sums it all up about how good he was. It was absolutely sensational. And of course, Roughie, you've got that as well. The Roughie look.
No. I thought you were going to say, have you got a pair of knickers over my mate?
Don't know where he's going, Hugh. Honestly.
I've never met a mermaid, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people talking about Davy Cooper, guys, on his anniversary yesterday. I'm only 31, so I can't remember him or Jinky. Who was better, or were they similar, says Stephen Hill. Well, with all due respect, I like to celebrate both players in their lives because they were absolutely sensational. Cooper, magnificent. Am I right in thinking, Hugh, that Jimmy Johnson was 22 when he won the European Cup with Celtic?
Yeah, and Real Madrid wanted him the next couple of weeks. He played in Di Stefano's testimonial, and Celtic took it seriously. They didn't want to have won a European Cup and then lose to Real Madrid after it. So it was quite a competitive game. And Johnson, there's clips of it on YouTube if anybody wants to watch it. And Johnston was so outstanding that night that the Bernabeu rose to him. And apparently after the game, Di Stefano was getting his picture taken with Puskas, who was his great running mate. They were the two great Real Madrid players. And Di Stefano shouted over to Johnson and says, "You join the picture. The three of us will have a picture together." So that's a great testimony of the worth of Johnson, to be invited into that photograph.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if I've got a wee bit of nostalgia with Johan Cruyff before we finish. This show's all about football. Hopefully you enjoy the chat, the banter. Share it with your friends. Like, share and follow us on Facebook as well. Give us your thoughts on Twitter on who you think should be player, young player and manager of the year. But for today, as ever, from everyone in the PLZ Soccer family, we'd just like to say to you, stay indoors, stay safe, do a wee bit of exercise, and make sure you and your family are safe as well. From Roughie in the house there with Scary Spice's knickers, from Darren Jackson in the house there wondering where some of his strips are, and for Hugh MacDonald, as you can see, in his house looking fit and well. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Barry Ferguson will be there, Flip-Flop Barry back with us, with Tam McManus, God willing, and over and above that, Roughie back in his usual spot. But this time, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Roughie will have Kubias's shirt so that we can see about the great number 10 from Peru that bent it with the outside of his right boot past Roughie in the 1978 World Cup. Fantastic memories. Football's what it's all about. Hopefully you've enjoyed our banter, and you can join us tomorrow at 4 from Hugh, Darren, Roughie and myself, Peter Martin. Thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.